In a time when the people of the world, desperate and suppressed by the monotony of daily life, needed saving the most, two unlikely heroes emerged. With mics in hand and jokes aplenty, the heroes set out to entertain the world, and a podcast was born. You are now listening to Chopping It Up.
Hey there, and welcome back to episode 9 of Chopping It Up. Once again, if you're new to this podcast, make sure to listen to our previous episodes on the podcast channel at choppodcast.podbean.com and give us a follow on Instagram, Chop Podcast, which is one word. That's Chop Podcast. And I'm joined here by Jeff once again.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And I just want to clarify, the name of our podcast is Chopping It Up this week.
Yeah.
As it always is, unlike last week where you said it was Chop Podcast.
Yeah, you let me do the intro one time and I immediately fumbled it, so
Yeah,
my bad.
It wasn't ideal.
Forgot the name of my own show. Casual.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
It's to be expected.
Chopping It Up. Our Instagram is Chop Podcast. Don't get them confused like I do.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, what do we have on tap for today, Frankie?
Well, we're going to go off the cuff like normal. We're going to do a little chop move of the week. We're going to introduce a new segment, which I think those of you at home will like a lot, or at work if you're listening to us in your nice cubicle. I think you'll enjoy that a lot. And then we have part 2 of the interview. I will be interviewing Jeffrey this week, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Got some funny
You're
and
saying,
some serious
I'm going to enjoy it
questions.
or the audience? Because I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it.
The audience.
Never been interviewed.
I think the audience will enjoy it.
Never accomplished anything.
There's some really hard-hitting questions in there.
Oh,
so.
gee.
So
Okay.
I don't know if you
Bring them on.
Yeah, we'll see how you do.
I'm ready for them.
But how about you kick us off with off the cuff?
Okay.
What do you got for this week?
Well, mine it's something that I've been stewing on for a little while. So I went on vacation with my girlfriend and her family about 2 weeks ago now. About 2 weeks ago. And while we were on vacation, we went to an arcade, like an old-fashioned. You just walk in from the sidewalk, go and play some arcade games. And, everybody loves those. You're never too old for an arcade, I would argue, unless you're by yourself, in which case
Never.
You're probably too old
Kids
for an
Quest
arcade.
and Mohegan Sun, absolute go-to.
Yeah, that's true. Is it Kids Quest? I thought it was in Mohegan. I'm thinking Treehouse.
Yeah,
in
the
Foxwood.
Treehouse is Foxwood.
Treehouse is the prime location, though.
That one's pretty neat,
They have
too.
the aesthetic.
They do. Put a lot of money into that Treehouse.
I thought it was the coolest thing when I was a kid. But anyway, so we went to this arcade. And, they had the standard arcade games. They had skee ball, and they had air hockey, and they had, the racing games of various types. And, of course, they had...
Mini hoop basketball?
Oh, yeah, let me tell you, I spammed the crap out of that. Because now, I'm a pretty tall guy, and it has gotten to the point where the balls are kind of smaller than a regulation size. We can make layups. Yeah, well, I did a lot more than make layups.
20 minutes later.
All right, Jeff, and to continue with we had Austin walk in, we had John call. This is a mess. This is absolutely off the rails. So, Jeff, to continue with your arcade story about you're at the basketball hoop and you can make layups easily.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's where we were.
Honestly, I forgot where I was. That was like 20 minutes ago. Yeah, so we're in this arcade to continue the basketball part. I'm pretty tall. Basketballs are kind of small. They're not regulation size. They're really easy to just pick up with one hand, palm them, and throw them down there. And my arms are long enough that I can just reach the rim. So I literally was just two-handing and like stuffing them in. And the high score when I got there was 11, and I got a score of 273.
You hardo.
I broke a sweat.
So you broke a sweat.
But that's not the point of the off the cuff, though. That was one of the greatest accomplishments of my life.
I don't even know really what to say to that. Did you ever stop?
There were people watching too, like waiting to play the game.
Did you ever stop and think to yourself, maybe I'm trying a little too hard?
No,
here?
I was having way too much fun.
Okay,
best I've ever been at basketball.
Okay.
But yeah, my off the cuff. So we're in this arcade. They had the standard games and everything. And then on top of it, they had video poker and slot machines where kids could put their tokens in, pull the lever, and play slots.
Ooh.
And I'm like, just leave that out of the arcade.
Yeah.
Like, they'll do, they'll throw the money at the casino when they're 21. But I don't like.
You gotta teach them from a young age.
I don't like the idea. They're there to play the games. They're there to win the prizes, even though that's a ripoff in and of itself. I don't like that there was slot machines in the arcade. I think they don't have a place there. It encourages gambling habits, and I'm not a fan. So that was, it took me a long time to get there, but
it took us about 20 minutes into the show to get to the
slot machines in the arcade. Not a fan. Making an actual game. That's what the kids are there for. It's so that their parents can go to dinner.
Even though,
I enjoy gambling.
How much did you win on your 21st birthday?
Yeah, $1,800.
$1,800. You gotta like that.
But I did.
Was that on slots?
It was on slots.
It was. See.
Yeah. But no, I like table games. I like playing roulette. I like playing blackjack, though it's never good to me.
Like playing virtual.
Yeah, I play virtual a lot just because there's no pressure, no pressure of putting big money down.
Right.
I can put $1 in.
We're both pretty cheap, so we live for the $5 minimums on the virtual.
Well, it took me forever to get there. What do you have? I mean,
for my off the cuff. So my off the cuff this week, basically, I'm talking about tough guys in the bar. And this weekend, I'm at the bar, and it's getting late. It's probably around 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I'm just standing there, just enjoying life, having a good time. And I look over to my left, and there's this guy, probably 25, and then there's this older gentleman with his wife. He's probably 55, and all of a sudden, I kind of see them go back and forth, and I like kind of get a hunch that there's going to be something might go down.
Yeah.
So I start paying attention a little more closely, and the 55-year-old, says something to the young kid who's probably like 25, maybe around 27. I don't know. No, probably 25. And the young kid looks at him and basically is like, fuck you to the old guy, right? Whatever the old guy was saying, it was really firing this kid up.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, the old guy is like getting in the face of the 25-year-old, and the guy's wife and then this girl the 25-year-old was with has to like step in and like break up this like these two like jawing at each other.
Were they at least drunk, or is it like early in the night?
They honestly didn't look. I mean, it was late in the night, but they didn't really look that drunk, to be honest. And they kind of just started like, basically they were both just saying like, "Fuck you" to the other guy, and like not just like, hey, how about someone just be the bigger man and be like, okay, this guy's like an idiot or an asshole, and just walk away? Like, What is so hard with that? Instead, you get these two guys, got to be tough guys. They're in front of their lady, got to be a tough guy. And I mean, it's just like people like this, they just make me laugh. Because it's like, just say to yourself, this really isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah,
and,
you see it all the time though. Like, there were plenty. I remember like one time in particular, we were at the bar during college, and it was always jam packed. And a lot of times, if you wanted to get through the crowd, you lift your drinks over the top of people's heads and go to your group, whatever. And because it's just,
and believe it or not, in a bar of like 900 people, someone bumps into you and you accidentally spill
your drink on someone's girlfriend a little tiny bit. And I saw it one time, and a guy like started pushing and shoving a guy. He's like, "Hey, what you dude? You're spilling on my girlfriend."
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like everybody has been
maybe
spilled on
if your girlfriend
here.
wasn't backing me down like 6 feet, I wouldn't have spilled it on her.
Yeah, like just get over it.
That's what
yourself.
I mean. People, they just need to stop being such. I've used this word like now 7 times already in the start. Stop being such a hardo and just be like, it's whatever, dude. Okay, yeah, you didn't mean to do it, or it's really not a big deal. And just walk away. It's really that simple. Austin is really a distraction in the studio right now.
That's all right.
And
You just tickled my foot.
Looks like you liked it by the.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was ticklish, or it tickled me. Can an action be ticklish? How do you describe that? Anyway,
I think it tickles.
Yeah, I guess that is. Yeah.
Sorry. So moving on, we're going to the chop move of the week. And last week we talked about how I hadn't won or even been nominated really for Chop Move of the Week, even though you had
And
won twice.
You pulled it off.
And this week I made sure that I won Chop Move of the Week hands down. And really not even
disclaimer,
close.
I haven't heard this yet. Just Frankie told me.
So just a reminder before I get into it, don't forget to message us on Instagram or email us at choppodcast@gmail.com with your submissions to win Chop Move of the Week. They've slowed down a little bit in the last couple of weeks.
We might have to put a prize in or something.
Might have to throw a T-shirt in there or something moving forward.
We're throwing some ideas
And so-
around. Stay tuned. Watch this space.
Yeah, watch this space. And so my Chop Move of the Week is I'm testing water a few days ago. You know, someone's got to do it. You're welcome. And I'm you know, what you have to understand is I test water, and I basically test about 12 or 13 sites in one day. So I'm driving around across the city testing water. So usually, you know, after about 5 or 6, I gotta pee. It's just really that simple.
Yeah,
you know,
you've been driving around.
Yeah, I've been driving around. I've been drinking water. Got to stay hydrated. So
Not drinking the testing water.
No, not the test. Well, testing water is fine, but I'm drinking Poland Spring. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And so, you know, I got to pee. So get to the post office. I go to pee. Steiner texts me about the podcast, so I whip out my phone. I'm all excited, texting him back about the podcast.
Don't tell me.
And what do you think happens, Jeff?
You drop it in the toilet?
I drop my phone out of my hand into the toilet while I'm peeing in the toilet.
No, so then you add an insult to
so
injury.
here's the thing. And so most normal people, that happens, they drop their phone. What do you think they do right away?
Immediately stop peeing.
Immediately stop peeing, reach in
it.
and grab the phone out. What do? It takes me about 2 or 3 seconds for all of this to process in my brain, right? You know how you have to have that split second where you have to basically tell yourself to stop peeing?
Yeah,
because it's
you
not
gotta
easy.
contract the muscles.
Not easy when you're midstream to just stop peeing. So I had to do that. First, it took me a second to realize what had happened. Then I had to tell myself to stop peeing. So by the time I reached in, it took about 3 seconds to grab my phone out of the water.
Meanwhile, you've already added a pint on top
that
of
was
it.
filled with pee. And I gotta say, OtterBoxes, unbelievable. My phone was completely fine, and it was completely submerged in the water.
Was it sticky?
Oh no, I
gotta be
could.
sticky,
So
right?
I found a little disinfectant in the bathroom, rubbed
Wow.
it down with that, and we were good.
Wow.
And I walked out of there, and you never would have known.
I'm sorry to have caused that. My bad.
Yeah, it doesn't really smell, and
Austin just smelled his phone. For those who can't see, I don't know why you would even take
so
a chance. But
so that was I think that wins Chop Move of the Week pretty handedly.
that's Chop Move.
And so what? And so the Chop
Cardinal rule: if you're using the toilet, don't ever hold the phone over the toilet.
This is what's the problem with our society is we can't even go to the bathroom without looking at our phone.
Wow, don't bash yourself like that.
I'm
It's
just
okay.
And so the
It's
chop
okay to be
the
a
chop
chop.
move here is the normal activity is just taking a leak,
And Frankie cannot do it.
and I can't do that without dropping my phone into the toilet. So that's what we got for the week.
Well, hey, congratulations! You finally did it.
Thank you. Yeah, I felt good.
I'm
I was
surprised that you didn't
right
get
when
it
it
earlier.
happened. I was like, "That's awful," and then about 20 seconds later, I was like, "Wow, at least I'll win Chop Move of the Week."
Hey.
I might have to get a new phone, but at least
And that's
I'll
the
win Chop
reward
Move of the
right
Week.
there. Who needs a T-shirt when you have that good feeling? So, Frankie, you and I were talking about maybe doing something a little bit different on the show this week, and I went on my Facebook, and I just happened to scroll down a little bit, and I kind of joked about one of the posts that I had made a while back, and you threw out the idea of maybe we should go back in our social media posts from back in the day
From our Facebook.
and just see
And we're just going to read some posts
Just-
from about 7-8 years ago.
and just go on this wild ride and
so
see
the-
where life takes us.
And so the title of this segment, just for those of you keeping track at home, this is going to be What Were We Thinking? And do you want to start us off, Jeff?
If you have one, go ahead.
So we're just going to read through, I'm just going to go through these and we can just offer some comments. So this is when I was a sophomore in high school, so this is about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we got Mr. Gillette's research paper with a heart. So that's what was I thinking then? I think I had a research paper due the next day, and I probably waited till the last minute to do it. I think it was a very large research paper, and so.
Do you remember what it was about? Just what year was this? 2011.
Oh, it was
Don't even tell me you.
It was
actually
something about
know.
the Middle East. I know that. I don't really recall anything else. But then we have some other gems on here. Next one, counting down the minutes until Jeopardy is on. I was such a nerd back in the day.
Back in the
Still kind of am,
keyword
but-
back in the day. I have one here. 2009. I put sore with a sad face. Snow hurts. ... And the part that really makes it is, I mean, this is 9 years ago. I was 12. I then followed up with a comment that said, "Hey, if we didn't have it, the winter wouldn't be complete," with a winky face.
Oh,
Just on my own status.
so you commented on your own status. I love that. What else we got?
Yeah,
I have some absolute gems down here.
this is
This
ugly.
is actually a good one, I think. I said September 8th, 2011, that awkward moment when you walk into the NFA lunchroom all by yourself.
Oh, that I relate to.
That was
I
tough.
get.
That was really tough. We had this one. I get to see Chris Brown tomorrow. Capital NBD
Did you ever see Chris
with a
Brown?
smiley face. I did, because my English teacher name was Mr. Brown. His first name was Chris.
My coach. He was my coach.
Yeah. So I did get to see
You're such
Chris
a nerd.
Brown.
You are such a nerd.
Such a nerd.
I got this one.
We got absolute hysteria in Woodstock! Exclamation point, exclamation point. I think that was after our soccer team came back from 2-0 down with 10 minutes to go.
Humble brag right there.
You know, I remember
Nice,
that
throw
one.
it in.
Let's go back to the
We
real
have,
gems, though.
I'm living in 2009 right now. I have exhausted ... too much hacky sack.
I know. I really hate when your ankles get really tired from all that juggling. And then your the thighs get really sore.
I just come on. Let's just be better. If I could go back in time and just prevent myself from doing these things, I would. Because this is it's just ugly.
I have a bunch of college basketball posts that are annoying. We have, dear anonymous English teacher, your book notes suck, but I'm done. So now what? I have no idea what I was thinking there with that post.
Who was your English teacher?
It was Chris Brown.
Oh, so you're excited to see him one day, and then you're trashing him. No loyalty.
No loyalty. I'm fine with that because I got accused of plagiarizing that year. No big deal. I had to meet with the head of the English department and all that.
That sucks.
But, you know.
So while you were saying that, I found this one. There's a lot of song lyrics in here, which I'm a little embarrassed about, apparently. And I went through a phase in high school that I don't remember where I love to quote song lyrics, and just nobody would ever interact with them. It was just me putting them up. But there's one that's 6 lines long, and I don't know what song it is. I Google searched it, and nothing is coming up. And so what I'm wondering is, this was 8 years ago. Is this actual song lyrics, or did I just write a little poem?
I think you wrote a little poem.
And
So you're gonna read it?
that's
or
not
no?
something I've ever done. Not a poetry guy.
You say there is no
if-
perfect place. I say I know this is true. We are just learning how to smile. That's not easy to do. We both live for the day when we can run away.
That's got it. You
No,
would think that's a
yeah.
song, right?
Yeah.
But I can't find it. What song is that? I have no idea.
My spelling was just absolutely atrocious.
You spelled Brett Favre right.
Yeah, that's about
Good
it.
job. Yeah, the whole rest of the post was just terrible. I got, oh yeah, Coach Steiner getting it done. I've never been a coach in my life. I don't know what that could possibly be. Oh, you're right, Austin. All right, so Austin, I don't know why he's not sitting by the mic, but we're just gonna let him do his thing. Austin just reminded me. It was we volunteered to help out at a basketball practice one night, and this kid wasn't working hard enough in the workouts. And so I pulled him aside because he tried to do a fancy bounce pass or something, behind the back pass. I'm getting fed this information from Austin. He tried to do a behind the back pass, and I pulled him aside, and I said, I'm tired of your nonsense. We're doing chest passes on the side. Give me 10 good chest passes. And I proceeded to fire chest passes at this kid. And then I felt the need to post about it.
Did you catch those chest passes?
No,
or-
but he did.
That's all that matters, right? So what else?
I
What
was
else you
not
got,
capable.
Jeff? Anything else good?
I-
Some of these comments are like really good, but
I'm
we don't
just-
have time to really get into all
I'm
the
mostly just
comments.
curious about like what the motivation was.
I have
like,
SMH at people. That's a nice
just
one.
frustrated with the world.
Yeah.
Just had the funniest ride home with no follow-up story. What made it so funny?
That's kind of how mine are. There's just not a lot of.
I was in high school. I was big into baiting people into asking about asking follow-up questions, and just no one ever did. Which
Yeah,
is
that's-
hey, you know,
Similar to our podcast nowadays, where we're really throwing it out there to try to get some traction, and you know it's slow.
we're doing all right.
It's a little slow. We have another English essay with a heart. I just really liked schoolwork back in the day, huh?
Oh, this one, I'm kind of embarrassed by this one, but I'll read it. I'll read it
Okay.
for the sake of the content. It's a joke, so bear with. Don't read it. Don't read it. Stop. Eyes on your own screen. So, the joke goes, one morning in Eden, God was looking for Adam and Eve, but couldn't find them. Later in the day, God saw Adam and asked where he and Eve were earlier. Adam said, this morning Eve and I made love for the first time. God said, Adam, you have sinned. I knew this would happen. Where's Eve now? Adam said, she's down at the river washing herself out. Damn, God replied, I'll never get that smell out of the fish.
Ooh.
That's fucked up. Like, can we talk about this? That's racy. I might get fired by Disney for that one, James
Yeah.
Gunn style.
Yeah, I don't know how our listeners are gonna feel about that one.
The funniest thing is the only two people who replied are my sisters.
They loved it.
They loved it.
They said LOL.
Yeah, that's support, folks. That's support.
All right. I think I'll leave us with this last one, which was just classic.
This has been ugly.
This hasn't been great. And so here we go. We got A-video production, B-honors biology, C-Spanish conversation 4, D-honors English, E-honors algebra 2, F-honors global studies, G-gym. That was my schedule sophomore
Just
year.
posted it so everybody would know.
That's what everyone would do. And it was the thing to do.
I forgot they broke it up into like channels like that.
Yeah, and then everyone would comment back, "Oh, I got this class with
Hell
you."
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
B channel, let's go. So yeah, that was, God, I was such a
Dude, you were
loser.
such a nerd.
I was such a loser.
So was I, apparently, dude. No interaction at all.
Yeah,
Man, college really changes you.
it really does. And we just want to let everyone know that this break in the action before our featured interview is brought to you by Feel Good Films. Jeff, did you have a bad day today?
I had an interesting day today. Not bad.
Not bad.
I've been eating nothing but Raisin Bran for 2 days, and a lot of bran is a lot of fiber, and I'll let you figure out where that goes.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad day or a good toilet day. Either
Well, kind of, yeah.
kind of. Well, you know what? If you want to smile, you want to laugh, you want to get through your day, go to YouTube, click that channel filter, and search Feel Good Films. It'll help lighten that day. All right, and we are here for part 2 of the interview I will be interviewing Jeffrey Steiner. And we're going to start off a little serious, and then we're just going to panic, and we're going to restart.
Yeah, right? Cut.
Cut? Yeah. I don't know where to cut.
No, yeah, well, kind of.
Yeah. All right, and welcome back. I am joined here with Jeffrey Steiner for part 2 of the interview. And we're just going to jump right in. So, Jeff, For those of you who don't, first of all, for those of you who don't know, you're going back to school. Why are you going back to school? What did you get sick of at your old job? Where do you see your career aspirations going in the future?
Oh boy, we're getting serious. Okay. Well, for starters, I always intended to go back to school. I only got a job because I'm a procrastinator and I was late on putting the grad school application in, so I basically had to wait a year because
Right.
I'm a chop.
We like that.
And I worked. I
Made a
worked to
little
save
money.
up money. But no, I've always wanted to go to graduate school because I enjoy school. I enjoy learning, and I always wanted to do research. And I knew that obviously
Knowledge is fun.
graduate school was the only venue really for that. And so, yeah, it lets me specialize in the topics that I want to cover. It's mostly space stuff. I won't get into it.
So in 5 years, you want to see yourself potentially working for NASA?
Dr. Steiner working for NASA, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, well.
Doctor has a nice little ring to it.
Yeah, it makes me sound like a Nazi scientist, but that's okay.
Yeah, we'll get over it.
Yeah.
And so moving along with a pretty serious question
Okay,
as well.
yeah. Bring them on.
Why can you catch a football much easier than a basketball?
All right, so to give some backstory for the folks at home, we've always played on the same intramural teams. In college, we always played basically every sport you can. We played basketball, we played football, and whatnot.
Jeff cannot catch a basketball.
I cannot catch a basketball. I'm notorious for dropping passes or having them fumble through my hands and go out of bounds, and we lose possession.
Either when you have a wide open layup or on rebounds.
Yeah, I cannot catch a round ball. But for whatever reason, a football I can catch
Which is-
one-handed. I can catch with my left nostril. I never drop a football.
It's way easier to
Like,
catch
I don't-
catch a basketball too.
It's
Like,
way easier, but for whatever reason, a football is like perfectly shaped for me as a human being. I don't know. I think I could catch a touchdown pass with my eyes closed.
yeah, I don't understand it.
I don't think I ever dropped.
To be honest,
in my entire
I
college career.
don't think I will ever understand it. Like catching your round ball is probably one of the easiest things.
I can't do it. But a football,
history of
coming
athletics.
in hot, and I'll
Yeah,
catch it with
you
my
snag-
index finger.
Snag it one-handed. It is pretty impressive. And so
Well, thanks for putting that out there, Frank.
yeah,
I appreciate it.
You know, we're gonna ask all the hard-hitting questions.
That's my
here.
one skill.
Yeah, we're gonna ask all the hard-hitting questions moving forward. And so next one, what is a better tea? The tea that you would have in the dining hall every morning, or the tea that you would have every night for dinner? And for those of you who don't know, it would take Jeff about an hour to finish his tea every meal.
I enjoy
There was
it.
no such thing as a 10-minute meal when we wanted to get in and get out. It never happened.
You know, this is actually a common complaint.
This is
with
kind of
my-
like moving towards my pet peeve that I
Yeah.
had. But-
Okay. Well, it's a common complaint from my girlfriend because I never eat or drink anything when it's hot. I always wait for it to get down to like room temperature, and so that's a big part of the consumption time. Is I'd make tea with hot water and then I'd let it wait for it to cool all the way down, which is weird for most people.
Yeah,
I
you'd
think.
always have those, like, you'd always sit down, you'd always cross your hands a little bit, and you'd always have a little philosophical debates, and then you'd start eating. But at that time, we were already done eating.
Yeah, everybody else is eating while they talk.
So what's the better tea? The morning tea or the dinner tea?
The better tea is absolutely the morning tea.
The morning tea.
Morning tea, because it feels like it feels official, like I'm getting a good start to my day. The dinner tea was I screwed around too much, I procrastinated, and the dining hall's closed, and I didn't want to make food, so I would just have a cup of tea and hope that some liquid would hold me over.
A little liquid diet.
Yeah, liquid diet. So usually that was a tea of necessity. Necessity.
Ooh,
You like that?
I like what you did there.
Just came to me. It was just like that.
And
yeah.
so those of you who don't really know exactly what Jeff looks like, he's often compared to the likes of Steven Adams, Marc Gasol, Luis Scola, Chris D'Elia, and Jesus.
All kind of wrapped into one.
All kind of wrapped
But,
into
yeah,
one.
true.
So which one of those are you most alike? And why?
I like to think they're different facets of my personality.
Oh, okay.
So when I'm being funny, I'm Chris D'Elia. Most of the time, I'm probably Steven Adams.
Steven Adams.
Yeah, because I'm very good at basketball.
Absolutely. Especially on the arcade game.
Especially, yeah, that should tell you.
You
right
feel
there.
like Steven Adams in the arcade.
I like to think of Jesus as my drunk personality.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, when I get intoxicated, Jesus comes out that night. That really needs no explanation. But yeah, I feel like I'm all of them.
Can you give us a little New Zealander accent for Steven Adams?
I'm better at Australian, I should say. But I could try. I'm not very good. Sorry, Stephen. I don't know how Steven Adams sounds. I've actually never seen an interview with him.
I think that sounded pretty good, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between New Zealand accent and
That might get you beaten
Australian.
up in Sydney.
yeah. I'm sorry, but I would have no idea.
Yeah.
But speaking of Jesus, is Jesus real?
Oh boy. Jesus was a man.
He was a man.
He was a man. Not the Son of God. It's all made up.
Who is God?
It's non-existent. It's a figment of the imagination. Religion is a moral code. It gives people a reason to feel comfortable about death, because death is a very frightening thing. And so I think Jesus was a very charismatic man
Just a normal dude, though.
who was very kind. I fully believe like all the personality traits. Like, yeah, he's probably a great guy. Good shepherd, had the best sheep. Probably good guy, but just a guy, just a man.
Just a dude.
Kind of got screwed, really. I feel bad for him.
All this pressure is put on him now.
I mean, he was a shepherd who tried to become a politician in a sense, and you don't do that,
Yeah. Did that end up well for him, or?
I mean, he came back to life, if you want to believe which I don't, but I guess that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But no, overall, no.
So-
Guy mostly bred, and that can't be healthy.
It's probably his name was probably just like John.
Yeah, maybe.
His nickname was Jesus.
Or hot take. His name was actually just Jesus,
I like that.
and
he was speaking Spanish.
maybe
Maybe.
we don't know.
So why is The Big Lebowski the greatest movie ever created?
My goodness. All right. So not many people I feel like have seen this movie. It's a cult classic made in 1994, I think. 93 or 94, I don't remember which one. Stars Jeff Bridges, John Goodman, Steve Buscemi. It's one of my favorite movies. It really has no plot, but it is a masterpiece. And so what was the question? Why is it the best movie of all time?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I just want a little caveat. Gladiator is actually my favorite movie, but The Big Lebowski is top 3. Gladiator, Interstellar, Big Lebowski.
Top 3. We'll take top 3.
Yeah. But The Big Lebowski it's highbrow humor, and it's the reason it's the best movie of all time is not because of its plot, its storyline. It's the interactions between the characters. So when you watch The Big Lebowski, you can't watch it for the sake of watching a plot unfold. You have to watch the conversations, the subtle facial expressions, and that's what makes it the best movie ever. If you've never seen The Big Lebowski, go watch it. And keep that in mind, and you will be entertained. I promise.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
Maybe with a few drinks in you, would you like it even more?
Only if they're White Russians. You have to drink White
You
Russians.
do. Oh, yeah, that is true for that movie.
It's guaranteed to be a good time.
And so, speaking of White Russians, when you're at the bar, what is your favorite spot at the bar? Is it posted up at the bar, or is it at the back of the assembly line of the drinks getting
Absolutely
passed back?
posted up. I like to BS with the bartender. I like to be the guy. People say surprise me with a drink. I like having that kind of power. Yeah, post it up, absolutely. If I'm sitting at the back just waiting to receive a drink, then I'm just lonely and I'm getting drunk. I like to be the face of the organization.
You like to be the top man
Yeah, exactly.
and give handouts.
I like to be the guy. I don't like to pay for the drinks,
No.
but
So you like to be at the top. You like to have people pay for the things, but then you hand them all out.
that's right.
And you take the credit for it.
Exactly. No, yeah. I'm an asshole, but
Yeah.
hey.
Since we've established that, that's fine. That's all we needed to get across
All right.
there.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely. Post it up at the bar.
Since you're happily married now, this isn't relevant. But when you used to have a Tinder, what did your bio say?
Well,
Or if
okay.
you had to remake, how about this? You're
No, no,
remaking Tinder.
I'll-
What's your bio right now?
I'll address both things.
Okay, like
I'm pretty sure I had a lot of outdoorsy photos on my Tinder, and if I remember correctly, it said, "You're cool, I'm cool, let's go hiking," and that was it. I had nothing else. Everything else was a surprise. Ladies were intrigued. Yeah. Now
you should have thrown your height
well,
on there.
Let me just say, I wouldn't have one. As you said, but in this hypothetical scenario, Tinder bio,
6'4",
put me on the spot.
6'4".
Oh, that was the other
flow.
thing. That was the other thing. I had my height, but I had it in centimeters, not.
You're such a weirdo.
It's like 153 centimeters or whatever it is. Yeah,
yeah.
I prefer the term quirky.
Okay.
So watch your tone.
Yeah. Let me convert centimeters to feet and inches real quick.
All right. Yeah, it was funny and intriguing at the time. So I think maybe not.
So what would your bio say nowadays?
It would probably say something along the lines of, just talk to me, just something. I don't know, like just something bland. Just be like, if they're not interested enough, I don't want to talk to them anyway.
All right, so
I'd probably be a joke or something. I don't know.
So it's, what
Not
it
the
sounds
Adam
like,
and Eve joke. That was bad.
So what it sounds like, it would be like something like, if you swipe right and I swipe right, we all know what we're here for. That's what it sounds like. That what you just said.
I wasn't going down that road, but that's straightforward, and I kind of like it. I guess, straightforward's a good thing.
And speaking of straightforward, what was your go-to one-liner?
My go-to one-liner. Oh, you know what it actually was? It was, if I had to rate you on a scale of 1 to 10, I would have to rate you 9 because I'm the one that you're missing.
Oh, that's right. That was yours.
Yep.
And I actually do
worked
like that
a lot,
one.
For starting up conversations, not so much for actually making women interested in me.
It's a good, yeah, that is a good starter though. I can confirm I saw many matches you had, and you did drop that line, and the girls did love it.
Yeah. Never went anywhere though.
Yeah,
But that's okay.
it's the effort that counts.
Yeah,
right? And if you were to have given yourself a superlative back in high school, what would it have been?
Most likely to eat spray cheese for breakfast.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. I just feel like that's something I'd do.
Have you ever done that?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Spray cheese is pretty good.
When did you
You ever
do
try
that?
it?
No. Well, I've had it like on
Well, for breakfast
steak
tomorrow.
and cheese.
Guess what's on the menu?
spray cheese.
And no, it's.
Do you want to wake up early and bring it over here for me? A little
could.
breakfast in bed.
Who's in bed? You or me? Or both?
That's just me. Just me.
All right, fine. Yeah, I'll deliver. I'll send it over. No, it's quirky, and I'm a quirky guy.
What if you were giving yourself a superlative from college? Like now.
Does it have to change?
Yeah, it has to change.
Probably be more likely in college. In college, it would be.
I would hope you're not just the same guy that would most likely eat
No,
spray cheese.
in college, I think it's pretty much a given that it would be most likely to get drunk and pass out on a futon.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That's pretty much like locked up. No one is taking that title from me.
That happened pretty often.
Yeah, well.
And so we have Austin here. Austin hasn't chimed in at all tonight. But Austin, do you have any questions for Jeff?
The sad thing is this guy knows me inside and out. He's had to deal with me since we were
hold up on the inside.
Just the out.
just the outside. Yeah, he knows me outside and just that. Know me forever. Austin and I have been good friends, and we'll continue to do that, I guess.
Oh, I got one. So you're gonna be a TA here.
Are you just making these up on the fly?
Yeah. So you're
I'm sitting here thinking this guy's prepared. Sheesh.
No, most of those were prepared.
All right.
So you're gonna be a TA here, coming up. What are you looking for in a student?
Oh, absolutely. Self-motivated and dedicated to learning, because I'm passionate about the stuff, and I want to see students that are willing to work hard and actually care. Just give a damn.
Okay, so what if they work hard, they come to office hours, they do the homework, they really try their best, but they fail every test?
Then I'm a bad teacher.
Yeah, but what kind of grade do you give them?
Well, yeah, you got to give them the grade that they get. I mean, I can't do anything about that. But
so even if they put in 100% effort, you're gonna fail the student?
Well, they're
what if they just what if they work so hard, but science just isn't their thing?
What if I put in 100% effort in designing a skyscraper and then it falls down? Do I still lose my license?
Totally different.
It's not different. That's just how it is. Like, you get an
engineering
engineering degree.
To answer your first question, do you lose your license? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
It's probably.
Well, it depends if it's my fault. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was your coworker that was drunk and
I'll sleep on a futon, maybe.
Yeah, or something.
No.
I can't give them a D.
I can't grade them on. No. Well, here's what would happen. If they get a really bad grade on the first one, then I got to change up my style. Because if they continue to do bad and they're putting in 100% effort, then that's on me as a teacher. Obviously, I'm not getting through to them, and I need to find a different way to reach them. And that's just, I have to do better in that case. Hopefully, this isn't something that happens. I hope I have capable students that make my life easy. But whatever.
Mm-hmm. All right, and final question. We're going to end the interview with this. How do you eat a potato?
There's only one way to eat a potato. And I'm so far, I haven't seen anybody else eat a potato the way that I do.
I've never seen it, ladies and gentlemen.
It's usually the talk of the dinner table. So most people, when they get a baked potato, they slice it open, put some butter in it.
Maybe some sour cream.
Maybe some sour cream or bacon bits.
Yeah, some bacon.
And some people also just crush it, make their own mashed potatoes in complete defiance to the chef. But hey, you do whatever you want. But I don't do that. I just pick it up, skin and all, and I just kind of chomp into it like an apple, and I just eat it with my hand.
So yes, for those of you trying to picture at home, yes,
it has no butter on it. It's just straight potato, hot potato in my hand, and
what
I just
you're
eat
thinking
it.
is true. He just puts it in his palm and just dives right in to a full uncut potato.
And
it's one of the wildest things I've
people
seen.
Are pretty horrified usually.
The first time I saw you do it, I thought you were joking. I thought it was just a joke with you trying to be an idiot eating.
Nope, I'm actually just an idiot.
And you're you don't eat your potatoes like this? I'm no. It's just, no one does that.
I also eat salad with my hands too. I don't use a fork.
See, I don't hate that idea. Not that I.
What's the difference?
Not that I would.
If you don't mind me asking, am I allowed to ask the interviewer questions? I'm taking a liberty here. What is the difference?
Because of you put stuff on the potato.
I don't though. I just eat the potato.
But that's why people cut it up.
Why does it need stuff? It tastes like a root. It's gonna taste like a root no matter what.
It tastes better with stuff on it.
All right, that's fair.
But
I also don't put anything on salad either.
The reason I say I don't hate the salad idea is because sometimes it can be annoying to try to pick up the salad with the fork. Sometimes the lettuce can fall off the fork.
Yeah.
Whereas a potato, you can eat a potato pretty easily with a fork. When you dive into the potato with a fork.
I don't know what to say to that. I feel assaulted. I'm going to continue to eat potatoes with my hands. Try and stop me, world. Dinner with the Queen, eating it with my hand.
I love it. When you're president and you're
eating with the hand,
and you're eating with Putin,
might have to change hands. Left hand instead.
Yeah, so you can shake hands with the right.
That's right. Yeah.
I like that.
It's all about table etiquette.
Yeah, absolutely. But we just want to thank all of you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Did you guys record tonight or what?
Oh, we're currently
We're
recording.
trying, John.
Oh, yeah!
John, you're live on air. You're
You guys-
live
you
on
guys
Saturday Night
You
Live.
guys are ahead of the ball today, huh?
Yeah.
You guys are recording on a Wednesday.
It
Yeah.
really is.
This is unheard of.
We haven't gotten much done in an hour and a half, so.
That's how long you guys been
We've been here for an hour.
Great.
talking about for a while.
Great. You come up with some good questions for Steiner.
Oh, they're fantastic.
We haven't made it through off the cuff yet. We said hello world, and Austin walked in the door.
Am I on the show? Are we recording? Are we live?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
you're
live
you're,
right now.
you're live. You've been live for the whole phone call.
Am I actually?
Yes.
Yes.
Honestly, the only part
Can
you
I
put in
can I give an off the cuff?
Okay, sure. Get it off the cuff.
Only if
I
it's
don't know
short.
if you're actually
Only if
serious
it's
if you're
short.
recording or not. I don't want to go on a rant.
No,
and
you're-
all of a
we-
sudden
John,
like,
I'm-
John, no
yeah,
rants. Keep it short.
You're not recording it. This is a lie.
Absolutely are.
I don't want to give a rant for no reason.
All right, John, either give the rant or get off.
All right, fine. Fuck it. You know what I fucking hate?
What?
Douchebags at the gym. That's who I hate.
The hardos?
Just at me, John.
The hardos?
Have you ever been approached by like guys trying to tell you like, "Oh, your form's off, buddy"?
Oh, yeah, they're the worst.
Oh my god.
One time.
I mean, maybe if I
Hey,
listened,
your
I'd be a little bigger.
your form's off. You want to try my lifting shoes? You know, you could
No.
probably put up a little more weight. It helps you keep your heels down. You know.
Don't tell me a guy actually told you to put his lifting shoes on.
Did you tell him, listen, buddy, I really just don't care that much?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
I love
He's
it.
like, I think you can really squat a lot if you really tried. He's like, you could probably put up close to, a couple plates, I think. He's like, you just need a little work. If you want some help, just let me know. I'd be totally down. I'm like,
Yeah,
dude,
you
I
just need a
told
little
you, I really
pre-workout, a
do
little
give fuck.
roids.
Wow.
I'm like, can you please leave me alone now? I want to, get out of here when I'm done.
That's.
He's like, yeah, here, just you want my number just in case? Like, you
Oh
ever
my
wanna,
gosh,
live
no.
together?
He did not
I'm
say
like,
that.
dude, can you leave me alone?
Yeah.
And all of this, by the way, I had my headphones in. He approached me, just like came out of nowhere and like tapped me on my shoulder.
It's not even like a guy you know. It was just some random dude
No,
at the gym.
I had no idea who this dude is.
Yeah,
Never
that's-
seen this guy in my life.
That's the worst. It really is the worst. Because you're
So
like,
that's my
you're like,
rant.
I'm just trying to mind my own business here, and I really don't like. I'm getting enough out of this workout that I'm fine with it. I don't need to hear from
Hey,
you.
like, am I going up to you and saying, hey, can you chill with the grunting because it's really fucking annoying? No, I'm not doing that.
But dude, that lets you put up an extra plate. If you grunt loud.
The
Maybe
grunting? Oh,
maybe
yeah,
you should try the grunting and the
like,
flat
you put up
shoes,
an
and you
extra
can
90 pounds.
squat like 2 plates.
Yeah, if I grunted, I could squat like 5 plates, That's what he was telling me.
Yeah.
I gotta get lifting shoes and grunt a little bit, and then I'll be able to throw up fucking major weight, huh?
I think you should do that.
Yeah, alright.
John.
Well, thanks for letting me rant.
John,
I had to
I-
get that off my chest.
I dare you. Find someone with a Planet Fitness account. Go as their guest and try to set off the lunk alarm.
And try and what?
What is- what is
Set
it
off the
called?
lunk alarm.
What is it called? The
Oh,
lunk?
okay, yeah.
The lunk alarm. That's my challenge. Do that.
Alright.
That'd be funny as shit.
Yeah.
I don't know who to have one.
Sorry, I was listening to Ratchet Happy Birthday.
I don't either. I don't know anybody.
The closest Planet Fitness is in Norwich to me.
The Rose.
They're not.
2K Blindy has a membership.
Oh, yeah, you can go
You
with
go
2K.
there and get like I do like a free, like, you know how they do those trial things?
Yes.
They do trials?
I
don't know.
Yeah, you can usually get like a 7-day trial. I'd do that and do it for you, and you can get some content in there,
Sir, you're on the free trial and you're already setting off the alarm. Get out.
Get out, please.
And you're not even wearing flat shoes.
And you're not even wearing lifting shoes. Can you please leave the
Yeah,
premises?
we finished till 11.
No, probably not.
John, that was yeah.
That was a great off the cuff, John. We appreciate it. I hope those chicken strips are amazing.
I hope that I was actually on air.
Oh yeah.
You were.
We're 16
For all
minutes in.
the listeners, if there are listeners for this, I don't know if I'm on the air or not. So
Oh,
put it
you're
that
on.
way.
Guaranteed. The world will hear
Alright.
this conversation.
All right, love it. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
All right, John.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining us tonight.
See you, John.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, see you, John.